YouTube comment on my last, why did I say YouTube comment like we're not already on YouTube? I got a comment on my last video asking about what supplies that I use, and I was like, that's a great idea. I can't believe I haven't done this before. So I'm going to be showing you guys all the stuff that I use on the regular. I'm a very mixed media artist. I use a shit ton of supplies. So rather than go over every single goddamn thing I own, I'm just going to talk about the ones that I use most often, and I'll give you a very quick and honest review about what I think of these supplies. So let's get going. First, I have the Prismacolor Premier Soft Pastel set of 48. These are really nice soft pastels, like high freaking quality. They have a really big selection of colors, and I think they're really great for adding like a nice soft glow or a soft effect to my paintings and my illustrations. Just kind of adds that nice like final touch. Next, I have the Prismacolor Premier very thin Prismacolor set. Hard, thin lead pencils. They really mean it when they say hard lead. I actually bought these on accident when I was younger because I thought they were normal color pencils, but they're not. You can't use these to just color in a section of your artwork, right? You can't use them like that, but they're great for lining things, especially if you're doing like a sketch to a painting because the lead is so thin it's not going to smudge or smear. They're also nice if you want some very soft shading effects, like using a very nice like crosshatchy sort of thing. And what I've noticed is that certain colors, which by the way the colors are gorgeous, certain colors react with alcohol-based markers so that they actually glow on the page. So you'll see me use that often with the hot pink and the purple colors. Next, I want to show off the Prismacolor colored pencil sharpener. I think it's kind of stupid that I have to like talk about a fucking sharpener in a video, but I was a dumbass and I used Prismacolor colored pencils without the Prismacolor brand colored pencil sharpener. Oh, that was a mouthful. For so many years, and man, like this thing just sharpens so well, so quickly. It's just really high quality. I think the design of the product is really shitty because it's very hard to like open up the capsule and get rid of the shavings. Like I've nearly broken this 5 times. I'm not even fucking kidding. But it is a really good high quality sharpener, and if you have Prismacolor brand colored pencils, you have to buy this. Just suck it up and spend the $6. It's ridiculous, but that's what you gotta do. Okay, next, I use a lot of markers. I use the Copic Ciao markers. It has the medium broad, it has a chisel tip and a nice really brush tip. It's got gorgeous colors, like a huge range, and they blend really well because they're alcohol based. They don't last very long. Like my favorite markers last like slightly less than a month, which is ridiculous, but I'll suck it up because I like them. Also, these are the Copic Ciao markers. These are not the just normal regular Copic brand. And the only reason I buy the Copic Ciao is because they're $1 cheaper, and the only difference is the plastic that it comes in. Like really $1. So yeah, I use these, and I also use the Prismacolor Premier regular markers. They blend really well, also have a great selection of colors. I don't own many that have the brush tip. Most of mine have the chisel tip and like a fine point tip, which is a little bit annoying, but whatever, they're really good and work well. Next, I carry around a lot of pencils and pens and stuff. So the number one thing I get asked in my YouTube comments, besides what sketchbook do I use, is what do I use to line my drawings. So I'm going to tell you guys right now, I use a Pentel sign pen. It is water-based ink and it has a brush tip. The tip is not like other tips. It's like a slight plasticky sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not like the fibrous sort of tips that you see in a lot of other pens, which means it doesn't break down. It is really bouncy, like you can really make a nice like juicy point or movement. It's very clean, and it means that the tip lasts for a really long time. And because it's water-based ink, it will never bleed through your page, which is awesome. But because it's water-based, the ink is not nearly as rich and black as I wish it was. And it also means that if I do a really big sweeping motion, it sometimes kind of goes into gray. So you have to be careful with it, but I have yet to find anything that's this good, and it's also not terribly expensive, so it's worth the money. I also use the Univille Signo Broad White Gel Pen for little details and highlights and mistakes. I used to use the Jelly Roll pen, but the Jelly Roll is really difficult to kind of build up the color, whereas this one is a little bit easier. I'm not saying it's perfect, and I don't even use it that often, but it's a good supply. I also have my super cute Muji 0.38mm hot pink gel pen. I don't like use this pretty much ever, but every time I use it, I love it. It makes me so happy. It's like my special occasion pen. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Next are sketchbooks. I have another Muji product. It is just a basic Muji notebook made of recycled paper. The paper is super smooth and nice. I love working with it. And this thing that I'm showing you isn't actually a sketchbook. I really use it as like a planner, to-do list, note taker thing. But I'm showing it to you guys because I'm probably going to buy a Muji sketchbook in the future, and I love this brand, so I might as well just like tell you guys about it. Next I have my normal sketchbook, which is a Lomali made in Nepal, handmade bound sketchbook that I found a while ago. If you want more information about it, I will leave a link in the description to my sketchbook tour. And I actually finished this sketchbook today, so I can tell you guys with complete sincerity that it is falling apart. This baby had a beating. Like the cover is starting to rip because it's handmade paper. It's not like that strong. It's really getting beat up, but I still love this thing. I still love it so much. I love the springiness of the strap. I love the uniqueness of the cover. I think the size is perfect. I think the paper's great. Like, I have loved working in this sketchbook so much. It's maybe one of my favorite sketchbooks to date, just in terms of like what it is. So anyway, so yeah, I have this sketchbook. Next, going into painting, I use the Pelican German brand watercolor set. It's super nice. It's got really deep wells for paint, which is really, really great because I'm someone who uses a lot of paint. And it has a great selection of color. You've got like the traditional sort of like rich tones, and then you have like the really bright like kind of printer tones. So really, really good selection. And this is kind of like the medium. It's not as bad as like the really cheap watercolors, but it's not as good as the really, really good ones. Like, this is perfect middle ground territory watercolor paint. You get a lot of different colors. The colors last a decently long time, and by last I mean like they don't fade. I mean, they do fade, but it takes a much longer time to fade than like your really cheap ones. I just think it's a pretty decent brand if you don't want to pop for something really expensive. And then I didn't show every single supply, so I use the XL brand watercolor paper and mixed media paper for my major painting illustrations. They're pretty cheap, but they hold up really, really well. Like, I go hard on the mixed media paper and it holds up, so that's pretty awesome. I use basic artist tape or scotch tape to tape down my edges, and I use this brand called Best. Yes. I use this brand called Best paintbrushes. That's the word. They're really great. I find that the tips last a really long time. Like, if you just wash them properly, they're not going to kind of get like all fuzzy. Like, it'll have a nice point for quite a while. And it's just, it's really good at like soaking up the paint, but then like giving it back to you on the paper. So what I find with a lot of brushes is that it'll, like some brushes, bad ones, they'll soak up all the paint in your well, like all of it. And then you'll paint something and it'll only give you like this much. And it'll be like, no, I'm dry. And it's like, no, you're not. You just soaked up all my fucking paint. So I hate those. But this, nice and smooth. That it takes all of it and then it like slowly releases it, so you don't have to keep going back to your damn well a million times to get more paint. It's really, really nice. And for technology, I use a Pentax K50 camera, and I use a Wacom. I don't know if it's Wacom or Wacom. I don't know if it's Copic or Copic. I'm a bad artist. Yeah, I use that tablet. It's the only one that works for my computer because my computer is shit. So that's what I use. I think that's everything. If you have any questions about the supplies that I use, you can always leave a comment. If you have a supply that you're kind of thinking of buying but you're not really sure, you can also ask me because I know a decent amount about brands. I might not be able to help you, but who knows? Maybe I know a thing or two about it. You can ask my professional opinion. If you want to see my artwork, please catch me on my social media, which is Snapchat and Instagram and Tumblr. And it's Biana Bova for all of them. I'll leave links in the description. Also, if you like this video, please give it a like because that way it spreads throughout YouTube, and that's all I want in life. And if you really, really like my videos, please hit subscribe because I do lots of really cool videos, I think. And it would mean a lot to me. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for future videos that you want me to do, also leave comments in the description. Chat with me, guys. I'm always there. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!